into the game, the winners final between uh,
Whoa.
winners final between the
Sounds really weird. Do you hear that?
yeah, I heard a little bit. It's good now for me.
Yeah.
All right, hopping into the winners final against Wakanda Forever and the boys. Wakanda Forever banning Riven, Zed, and the Camille band coming through. And on the other side, there is an Annie band, Nautilus, and the Rek'Sai band. First pick is going to be worked, so they're going to run back the same jungler as what it looks like.
Alrighty. Yeah, so that Annie band, I'm not sure if you already talked about that. Annie band was specifically targeting KY Majesty. KY Majesty is very known for having a really great Annie. So they just want to take that out of the question.
Absolutely. Then the Graves pick coming in for in the jungle for the side of Wakanda Forever for Squirk, or not Squirk, for Puppet, sorry. This would be a really good pick. Gonna take the Caitlyn, it looks like. I was about to say it'd be a really good pick for grabbing the Morgana here, taking away from Phoenix Fire, because we've seen how absolutely insane Phoenix Fire is on that champion. But they opted on grabbing the Caitlyn, which is still good because you break up the Caitlyn Morgana bot lane.
Now, explain to me this. I could be completely wrong, but if they were to pick a character, does that forbid them from picking that character?
Yeah, absolutely. So once a champion's been selected from out of the pool of champions, then you can't have it picked another one. There are scenarios like different game modes that you can't have duplicate champions picked, but for a tournament draft, it is not an option.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, I haven't seen Key play Graves many times. I believe he intentionally did that just so that one of their players didn't pick Graves. In these past tournaments, their Graves on the BuckoBois team has been known to carry them with that character.
Absolutely. So that pick is actually something that Puppet plays in the jungle. So you don't have to pick the champion that you're going to play in a tournament format. You can swap picks. So for instance, Keith picking the Graves, he'll be able to swap the pick. They'll be able to swap the pick down to Puppet to where Puppet will be able to play it. But yeah, so as you were saying though, Zed or Oof is really good at he plays Graves, and he doesn't play it in the jungle. He plays it in the mid lane and ADC as well, I believe. He is definitely very good at it. But Puppet plays it in the jungle, which is why they're grabbing it here. Then just other picks for the BuckoBois. They grabbed the Heimerdinger and Morgana. Right now, Heimerdinger is pretty strong in top, mid, and as an AD carry. So it'll be interesting to see where they decide to put him with. Them getting to pick the Morgana, you would expect it to be in the bot lane. Just you can follow up on if Morgana lands a Q. You can follow up with a Heimerdinger, his E, which it's a bomb that if it lands on top of you, it stuns you as well.
The weak fear
On
the shadows.
the side of Wakanda Forever, they picked up the Ornn, which they played in their last game, and then they also picked up Caitlyn. Other picks coming in, they banned the Kled and they banned the Pantheon. So they banned 4 top laners, and also they banned 2 mid laners because Zedroof does play the Pantheon as well. They definitely focus banning the mid and the top out this game. Then the Lux pick coming through. Also, an interesting bans banning the Evelynn and the Kayn away from Puppet in the jungle, just because they had already picked up the Graves, so it was very interesting to see 2 more jungle bans coming in the second round of bans, when you already had the jungler picked on the side of Wakanda Forever. The Vladimir pick coming through, a very strong mid or top laner. And then the talent comes through. So this is something we haven't got to see Zed or Oof play in a while, but we do know his talent is very good. Been quite a few tournaments since we've seen him play it, but when he does get the champ in his hands, he tends to pop off and play really well. Ooh, and this is actually be a great matchup because
Oh,
he's hovering the cat. So Keith's signature champ is Cassiopeia, but
Something for
he's going to
Galio.
go with the Galio. Really, it would have been nice to see Keith play his best champ into Talon, or one of his best champs into one of Zetter Oof's best champ. It would have been a really exciting skill matchup, but he's going to opt to go with the Galio. This is a champ that he does play a lot when his team needs maybe more of a front liner, so they'll have the Ornn and then they'll have Galio as well. Really good engage from the Ornn and Galio. So looking at team comps, both are relatively strong. I do think the side of Wakanda Forever have a better overall team fight, but you see on the side of the BuckoBois, they have more champs that they are, I'd say, a lot more comfortable on. Phoenix Fire on his Morgana. I Still Love You has a really good Heimerdinger, and he's very good at Syndra, so he plays those mages in the bot lane. Talon for Zetter Oof. Talon is just an off-brand Zed anyway, so I mean he's a really good assassin. And then Warwick, we saw the guy's work was very clean last game, and then Vladimir is just a very strong pick overall. Scales into the game really, really well. As long as even if you do have a rough early game, you're able to scale super hard. So
Right.
eventually be useful as long as the rest of the map goes relatively decent. And having 4 out of 5 players on something they're very comfortable on, you wouldn't expect the game to get out of hand before the Vladimir is able to scale into that insane champion is in the late game. And then on the side of Wakanda Forever, you've got the Graves on Puppet, who's very, very comfortable with it. Actually, in our Discord this morning, he posted he had a pentakill. It was very nice, very, very, very insane play. At the Baron Pit, so he's very comfortable on the Graves. Keith is comfortable on the Galio. It's something he plays into Assassins and plays very well. And the only question mark you have is, so Squirk is typically a support player, but Wakanda Forever's main AD carry, Hadar, he's not able to make it to the tournament, so Squirk is playing AD carry to fill in. So not too sure how good his Caitlyn is. But then KY Majesty on Lux, she played Lux in the previous game. She actually had the most damage in the game, so she can carry from support. She has the potential to do so. And then the top laner playing Ornn, very, very good champ to just sit on. You give a lot of stats, a lot of gold to your team as long as you're able to get those levels. So and then just a very, very beefy, strong front line. It does have the potential to get bullied a little bit by the Vladimir, just being a range and to tank matchup. So most important thing for the top laner, I'd say, is that he does get his levels. He's able to get his items and scale to the point where he's able to upgrade the items for his teammate. That's one of the things that the passive that Ornn can do is he upgrades items, allowing your team to get more stats. I think it's about 1,000 gold worth of stats is what he's able to give.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, being able to get past, past I believe it's around level 13 is when he can upgrade his teammates' first items. And prior to that, he's able to upgrade his own items. So it's very important that he's able to get levels on him. Obviously, gold's very, very important. But last game, we saw the Gnar got zoned off from so much XP by the top laner on BuckoBois. So if that happens again this game, Ornn is one of those champs where you need to get your XP. Well, all the champs, you really need to get your XP. But Ornn's passive is very reliant on obtaining levels, and so if you're able to deny too much XP from him, he's not able to be that big team fight scaling champion that he is.
I think there's a few different key factors here that are going to determine the victor who claims victorious. Like you mentioned, so Wakanda Forever having more of a bulky team. What I did see from those picks is that the BuckoBois having a lot of stun, but also a lot of burst damage, and I think that's very important. They have to make sure not to get caught out so easily, and it's also, I think it also comes down to one, who's gonna land what stun first from what team, and then can Wakanda Forever, can their front line actually body block and peel for their ADC? I think it really just comes down to that, but let's see what happens.
Absolutely. So being able to look at everyone's rune pages, pretty standard, nothing too crazy. Lux, sometimes you see people run Aftershock on her, but ever since the rework of Aftershock. It's not as good as what it was. So you see her running Summoner Airy, also taking Exhaust, just to help peel for her ADC. But yeah, you've got the Vladimir running Phase Rush, pretty normal. Nothing out of the ordinary, really. One thing to note that the side of Wakanda Forever, they do have a traditional marksman. Well, actually two, really, with the Graves being somewhat of a traditional marksman as well. They're going to be able to bust out a lot of DPS. But like you said, the side of BuckoBois is tons of burst. All at once. So, one round of spells, if they're able to burst down this Caitlyn in the back line, or one of their carry champions, if they're able to burst those down, then that consistent auto-attacking DPS is just not going to be there for the side of Wakanda Forever. So it's going to be very, very important that this front line, they're going to be able to obtain vision and not allow a flank to happen where this Talon, where the Vladimir is able to just come in from the side. So going into the game, no pings coming out yet, but looks like the side of Wakanda Forever wants to rotate towards the blue. They did ping the blue, maybe try to get an early ward down, but you see the side of BuckoBois are actually going to start on the top side of the map. Last game they invaded through the bot side, but this game it looks like they're going to invade through the top side. And it's going to be, right now it's looking like it's going to be a 3v5. The side of Wakanda Forever just sitting in this bush trying to see. They do get a ward down, so they're going to have vision of people. They're going to get spotted out by the Morgana, but both teams did spot each other out. Pepe on this Graves. Looks like he's going to back early. He's going to change over to a sweeper from the early trinket that he put down on the blue. So he's going to be able to come back to his red buff. No early cheese, no kills, just jockeying for position, jockeying for some good vision. I would definitely say the side of Wakanda Forever got better vision down. Looks like, I'm not even sure if BuckoBois placed a ward early, but their blue is warded. Yeah, looks like all the wards. BuckoBois still has all the wards. So yeah. An interesting thing with this, the Heimerdinger bot lane, so your towers are actually able to tank the buff for your jungler early. So if you place it down, it'll be able to auto attack the buff, but also your jungler won't have to tank any of the auto attacks coming from the buff right there. We saw Heimerdinger's tower or turret was able to tank a couple auto attacks.
Oh!
Phoenix Fire, 1-for-1 on the bindings already. You can just expect that coming out from Phoenix Fire's Morgana. Really, really good at the champion, as we saw. So it's a pretty similar win condition to the bot lane as it was last game for BuckoBois. They're able to, Heimerdinger and Morgana are able to really push waves very hard and keep priority in the bot lane pretty easily. It's just pretty similar to what they will be doing. Early trades coming in from the Ornn, but Warwick's going to be here. He's going to burn his flash really early, and he's going to continue to get bullied out by this Vladimir. You saw the Vladimir was able, before the Warwick potential gank came through, another binding there from Phoenix Fire. You saw Vladimir was able to get an empowered Q off onto the Ornn, which does a ton of damage. That's one of the things you kind of just have to respect when you're playing into a Vladimir, especially as a tank champ, or a melee champ, that is. You'll see Vladimir's bar, when it's red, he has an empowered Q, which does significantly more damage than when it's just a normal Q. And you saw right there, the Ornn walked up into the Vladimir again and just face tanked that empowered Q, and it does so much damage, even early game. It's one of the tools he uses to trade with, and it's how if you eat those empowered Qs, it really forces you to back off, and if you don't respect it, you're just going to lose too much HP. I know when you're playing into the Vladimir, you want to make him use his Qs to farm ice. Oh, another binding there. But Puppey is going to be here for the early gank. He's going to force out Morgana's flash. So pretty, Squirk did have to heal there. The Warwick's here. Warwick's is going to flash in, get a 3-man fear off. The Galio's here as well to potentially get a taunt. Gets the taunt on the Warwick. Is able to get first blood. Keith picks up first blood on Galio. Really great rotations there by the Galio. Actually rotated before the Talon was able to get there, which is really surprising. But a great binding from Phoenix Fire. The burst damage comes down. 2 kills there. Zetter picks one up. And then the Heimerdinger is able to pick one up as well. So what turned out to be a really good roam by the Galio. Just another great binding from the Morgana. Squirk actually still has flash up, so he wasn't able to flash out of that. If he does that, maybe Lux and everyone survives there. So taunt comes in from Keith. He gets the knock up on the Zetter Oof. Pretty decent trade there. Not sure what Keith's health bar is at yet. Really good trade there for the Galio. He has a level up on Zetter Oof right now. The wave pushing into him. Seeing the top lane, the Ornn's gonna walk back to lane. It's always feels pretty bad as an Ornn when you get forced out of lane. One of the things Ornn can do is he can forge items in lane. So he technically, if he's healthy and has full HP and mana, he never has to recall to get his items. So it feels really bad as an Ornn when at 5 minutes into the game you're already forced out of lane to get more mana and to get. There's a stun down. Tons of damage coming out from the Heimerdinger turrets. That's just kind of what happens when you're able to land that bomb. Another binding from the Morgana. But when you're able to land that bomb on Heimerdinger, it allows his little turrets to get tons of auto attacks off on you, but it also empowers their auto attacks so they can end up doing an insane amount of damage. Just nearly missed. Good taunt coming in from the Galio. Puppey was there on the Graves to potentially make a play, but we see Vladimir and Talon and the Work are going to be able to pinch off Keith and Puppey. Puppey's going to hop over the wall. The Ornn ult's coming down. He's going to be able to peel the Vladimir a little bit, but Keith is getting really low. Vladimir is just going to be able to pull out tons of healing. Puppey has no mana. He's low health. He's going to get knocked down by Zetter Oof. And here comes this Ornn. Pretty tanky. Going to be hard to take down right now. Even in the early stages of the game. Just has a lot of HP. A couple early items coming in. We see Talon did pick up the T-Mat. That's going to allow him to shove waves.
Oh,
Just an insane binding. This is why you can't let Phoenix Fire have the Morgana. He just hits the bindings every time. He's just so reliable with them. And then right there, you see the binding there, and then the Heimerdinger just able to clean up a kill. There's that empowered Q. Another one gets down on the Vladimir. Tons of healing, and then a lot of damage comes out. Yeah, max range Q. Little able to get the hitbox, which is a little. It's Morgana's Q is definitely an interesting hitbox, but right there, I think that was just a really good snipe. Didn't even need to use the wonky hitbox to land it. So here's Vladimir's empowered Q is going to come up. He's going to do a ton of damage there. Even with Ornn buying an early null magic mantle, it's just a lot of damage coming through the Vladimir. It's a tough matchup when you don't respect that empowered Q.
give me one moment.
Another binding by the Morgana. and also a really great spell shield onto the Heimerdinger to negate the Q that was thrown out by KY Majesty. Lands another Q. Landing these Morgana stuns left and right. Ornn's able to get the charge off, but there's just going to be really good trade here, but the Qs are just coming up left and right for the Vladimir. There's going to be a fight here. The blue team's actually able to steal the dragon away from Puppe, who was a level up on the Warwick at the time. But Warwick's bite, or his Q, and the smite was just too much. Puppe couldn't outsmite there. So the Ocean Drake being a really important Drake now, it gives 8% bonus armor and bonus magic resist, which would have been really huge on a tanky team or a team that has tanks like Wakanda Forever, having the Ornn and the Galio. But instead, those stats are going to go over to the side of BuckoBois, which just makes their squishy champions a little more tanky and benefits them so much as well. At this point, level 9 Vladimir, it's going to be very hard to force out a lane. At level 9, he just has so much healing coming through for him. He's going to back right now, look for him to buy some items that give him a little more CDR. That way his spell rotation's just up way faster. More healing comes out. Now, you see him finish the Protobelt outright. Oh, he changes it up. Alright, so he's going with the Protobelt. So he'll have more CDR and then a little bit more burst damage just with the Protobelt active.
Very unfortunate for Wakanda Forever. Almost every lane being pushed out, and especially top lane, the Ornn, not being able to contest the Vlad unless they're fighting on a turret. And then Keith, although not losing early game in lane, Zedarov being fed those 2 early kills from bottom, the team fight earlier. So being forced to respect that character.
Wow. That's a ton of damage coming out. Squirk able to survive with just a sliver of health, but that's just the wombo combo you get with Morgana and a marksman in the bot lane that is just able to follow up on her CC. You know, we saw last game they had Morgana and Caitlyn, so anytime Morgana would land a Q, Caitlyn could throw a trap down. And then also you see the same thing here. Anytime Morgana lands her binding, the Heimerdinger is just able to guarantee that he's gonna hit his stun, his E, and follow up with so much more burst damage right there. You saw the empowered W come through. Just tons of damage.
A little bit earlier, you see the Lux had already had burnt ult to help clear menu wave, do a little bit of damage as well, just so that they couldn't do a dive under tower. Wow,
that's going to be a really big kill coming through onto the Warwick. And they're also able to pick up. Keith was able to secure the Rift Herald. They're going to keep fighting this. Going to taunt. So Keith is going to die here, but the Ornn's going to get out. Another kill goes over to the Talon. But there's 2 kills on the Vladimir, who's just going to scale into a monster. Zetter Oof, 3-0 and 2 on the Talon. He's stealing away the Raptors from Graves, which is even really big. Counter jungling is so huge in this meta right now, just because catch-up experience isn't there anymore. So anytime you're able to take away a camp from the enemy jungler, the jungler is able to feel it so much more. Zedaru's hanging out, eats 2 tower shots, but he'll be looking to recall anyway to cash in on those kills he just got. Just doing a little drive-by, seeing if they can pick anything up. Help out this Vlad even more. You see the Vlad's level 10, already a level up. Keith's going to be able to get some plate gold from the charge of the Rift Herald. You see a lot of gold discrepancies throughout or at least CS discrepancies. You see bot lanes up by about 30, but also the Lux has taken 25 of CS as well. but still quite a big discrepancy in all the lanes, with the exception of jungle. The Puppey's up a bit of CS. Protobelt's out. A lot of damage coming through. Doesn't get the Zed, or not Zed, the Talon in the Blast Cone, but he's still there. Able to get out safely. Good rotation here by KY Majesty, but she's a squishy. Big ultimate coming in from the Galio. They taunt up the Warwick.
Barely dodging that that stun from Phoenix Fire. Wow.
So this is good for the side of Wakanda Forever, and the fact that they were able to trade 1 for 0, but take out the jungler. So, I mean, there's a lot of damage there in the bot lane. They might not be able to secure the dragon here, but in a perfect world, anytime you take out the jungler and there's an objective like dragon up, it would have been nice to see if they could have got it. But the Morgana's there with full HP, the Heimer's there full HP, and Talon's there, so it'd be very hard for them to obtain that dragon. Here comes another ultimate from the Lux, just clearing out the wave, trying to secure or keep their tower standing as long as possible. The plates have fallen, so the towers are a little bit squishier than what they were. See the ultimate come out of Heimerdinger, which forces out the Graves flash, so he doesn't take too much damage from that tower, the turret. Good dodge there by Puppey, but they're just going to be able to secure this Cloud Drake. The Cloud Drake, what it does now is it's a 10% reduction on cooldown reduction on your ultimate. So very big Drake for champions that are ultimate reliant, which is really big for the Vladimir. Not so much ultimate reliant, but his ultimate is a big game changer if you get it down on multiple champions. Helps with the healing, and then of course Talon, his ultimate is very, very big as well. I mean, they're ultimates for a reason, right? But 10% CDR on champions like that is pretty big. Although the gold discrepancy is about almost 5k right now, there's the XP isn't too bad like the last game that we saw from BuckoBois, where they were just able to not only deny so much gold, but the last game they were able to deny a ton of XP from their enemy laners. But you see the Vladimir here is 2 levels up on this Ornn, just kind of at the point where you can just bully him out of lane left and right. Oh, Ornn blows his ultimate a little bit early. The Hemo Plague is going to come down. Tons of healing. And was able to pull out. The Heimerdinger able to get the kill onto the Lux, and then Warwick picks up the kill onto the Ornn, who overstayed just a little bit. Puppey is going to just walk out. Talon might be able to just one round this, is able to get one rotation of spells off onto the K and just burst him down 100 to 0. That's what happens when you got a fed Talon on the enemy team. Heimerdinger with these little mini turrets is just going to be able to push objectives really fast. Another objective falls, another tower. Zedruf's able to take it down. Then he's able to pop Ghost Blade and flip over a wall and get out of there safely. Mid lane towers falling down. The side of BuckoBois is doing such a great job snowballing this game. That's one of the things that you really want on the Talon. And then once he got a lead, he was able to just keep it rolling, and keeping the game really fast paced. Gold leads up to about 7k now. You're gonna be able to get the second Rift Herald that spawned. With this Rift Herald, it being so late in the game, the longer the game goes, the stronger the Rift Herald is going to be, as far as just how much damage it's able to get off. So really, really big getting that second one. They've already opened up all the pretty much all the waves or all the lanes. They've taken so many towers, and this is going to help bust the game open even more than it already is. See, the Vladimir is up 2 levels on everyone else, level 13, which is really scary for a champ that is known just being a late game, just powerful champion in the late game scales to the point where it's he's so strong, and you already see him level 13, finishes his proto belt, he's got his tier 2 boots, and he's got a needlessly large rod. Looking to upgrade that. What looks like he's going to go into an Oblivion Orb. Here goes the Hemoplague getting down on a couple chances, but is actually able to kill the Vladimir before he's able to get all his healing done. That's really big onto the Ornn. That's a lot of gold. He was able to get 300 bonus gold off that, and then also taking down the Talon. That's a 400 gold shutdown, so 700 gold over into the pockets there of Keith the Galio. So 2 big shutdowns going down onto their tanks, which is really, really good for the purpose of their front line. And with that being down, they might be able to work towards this next dragon. So they're going to have a 3v4 here on the dragon. Phoenix Fire is going to drop too. Tons of kills coming in. Warg's going to get taunted up. Puppey's going to be able to secure this dragon, and they're going to take down the Warg. Tons of shutdown gold going onto the side of Wakanda forever. They're going to be narrow the gap from almost 8k down to 4.5k in gold. Tons of gold coming through there for Puppey, for the Ornn, and for Keith on this Galio. Really big turn of events there. There's still a big deficit to climb, but there's the Zetteroof just getting the 1 round off. He may have just got knocked down, but he is still extremely strong at 5-1. This Vladimir is going to be able to run down the Ornn, and if not, Zetteroof's going to be here just ripping through all the armor that he actually doesn't have yet. So the Ornn has opted to go for the Merc Treads, which are your magic resist boots, and the Adaptive Helm, which gives more magic resist. So any AD champion is just going to do tons of damage to him, which is fair that he goes the taunt off, gets the ultimate down from the Lux. A lot of healing through the Vladimir. He's going to be able to pull out of this tons of healing, and looks like he'll be fine, just buying time for his team. Gets the taunt off again, more healing. Flashes in. This Vladimir might be at the point where he's just able those stopwatches. Wow, really good play there by KY Majesty and Keith. For a second, I thought that Vladimir was just going to be able to 2v1 that. All right, you see some armor finally coming through the Ornn, and it's not too bad. Zetteroof just super fed on this Talon, able to clear out vision, and at this point, Wakanda forever just can't walk into their jungle with a fed Talon like that. But I will say, I mean, even though Vladimir scales to an insane point, I will say I think the longer this game goes, the more in favor of the side of Wakanda Forever it will be, just because getting those Ornn upgrades on their items is going to be huge, and they just have, I think their team fight is just so much better with the fact that they have 2 really beefy champions in the front line, champions that can peel for the Caitlyn, and Puppey on this Graves isn't too far behind. He's going to be able to do a lot of damage as well. So definitely, even though the gold lead is 6k or almost 7k at this point, I wouldn't say it's out of the possibility for Wakanda Forever to potentially be able to come back into the game. So Ornn upgrades are starting to come in now that he is level 13. He's got his adaptive helm, which is upgraded, but then he was also able to upgrade the Zonia's Hourglass for Keith. Another binding coming out there. Keith is really, really, really tanky. He's gonna burn the Zonias here. Not too much damage coming through. Kind of a bad miss there by Phoenix Fire. You don't see it too often, but there it is. There's the Vladimir. Triple kill there. Puppe is going to fall. This is going to be a clean ace here for the side of BuckoBois. The Barons on the map. They've got waves pushing. Vladimir's just going to escort this wave mid. They've got tons of damage, especially with the Heimerdinger, able to take this Baron down super quick. That fight right there, really great flank from the Vladimir, and that's one of those fights that's just going to break open this game. Last mid tower's fallen here. Inhibitors are exposed. Looks like the Vladimir is working towards building. Vladimir finishes his Zonia's Hourglass here, so he's on 3 items. Was already strong, but even stronger stronger now. You see, the Talon has picked up a lot of armor penetration, tons of lethality. So he's just going to be shredding through this front line and these tanks. Works with the Cinderhulk Warwick and Spirit Visage, and also Merc Treads. He's got a lot of MR, but not. He's very tanky. KY Majesty misses her ultimate. Well, we got fights split across the map. Ornn's running down from the top lane to help out. There's just a ton of damage on the side of BuckoBois right now. BuckoBois is looking to secure their 3rd dragon of the game. If the game does go to the next 5 minutes and they're able to pick up the 4th dragon, they will pick up the Dragon Soul, which is a pretty good power spike. Makes with the Mountain Dragon makes team pretty tanky.
Puppe very cautious now, not to scanning for any and all wards possible.
Absolutely.
He doesn't want to be caught out again.
Yeah, you just see the side of Wakanda Forever. Their big objective right now here is just try to get as much gold on as possible, but they've got three guys in the top lane. They're just gonna lose a lot of momentum here in the bot lane. That tower is going to fall. The inhibitor is going to fall. Their AD carry is going to fall. There's just tons of damage coming out on the side of BuckoBois from this Vladimir. He's scaled into the late game monster that he's known for being. Level 16, 3 items. Keith's going to burn his Zonias here on the Galio. Try to drag away the enemy champions, but they're not going to be distracted by that. Keith's going to be able to ult back in, get into the base. So gets out of that sticky situation. But 2 inhibitors are down. They can, bring all their focus to the top lane if they want. Knock down those last 2 towers. There's just not too much on the side of Wakanda Forever that they can really do, with the exception of, hoping they can get a good pick on this Talon or the Vladimir. Quietly, the Heimerdinger in the bot lane, we knew he was having a really good game, but able to go 3-0 and 5 right now really well farmed, up almost 100 CS on the enemy AD carry, 600 gold bounty on his head. So definitely having a really good game for himself. See Graves fighting the Talon again. Both of them are very both have a lot of damage coming out, but the Warwick showing up is going to be able to finish off this Graves in the top lane. A couple fights going on. The Orange is going to be able to get a 3-man ultimate, but tons of healing here by the Vladimir. They're actually able to take down the Vladimir, but Warwick's going to be there to continue chasing down this Kate. He's so tanky. He doesn't care about towers at this point. He just take a couple tower shots to the face. No worries. The tier 2 and the inhib tower are going to fall here. They're going to work on this last inhibitor. Actually, the mid inhibitor has spawned, but the Zetaroof is escorting a wave to take out this third inhib. So three inhibitors down. Bonus super minions are going to be spawning into and start working their way into the base of Wakanda Forever. The fourth dragon is going to be coming up for to obtain the mountain soul. Another mountain dragon spawns in a minute. See them clearing out all of Puppet's jungle, so that's more XP just going to be denied from the side of Wakanda Forever. Set up BuckoBois. All of them look to reset here. Finish any items that they wanted. The Baron's going to spawn here, so there's a big objective on the map. All the waves are going to be pushing pretty naturally for the side of BuckoBois since they have double super minions spawning in every wave. So pretty much BuckoBois can secure this Baron here. The Mountain Drake they can get if they really want it, but I think the Baron's all they need to finish it off. Tons of CC coming out of the side of BuckoBois onto Keith's Galio. Insane amount of damage there. Zetaroof going to take out the Graves. Keith's going to fall. Morgana Ultimate's going to come down onto the Ornn. They're able to catch out the Caitlyn as well. This Ornn's going to fall. Pretty much everyone but KY Majesty's fallen thus far. Majesty's going to get an ultimate down, but he's going to burn the Zonias, and this should be it. Oh, it looks like the minions and Vladimir were able to finish the game. BuckoBois are going to win. They're going to move on to the finals where they will play the winner of the team that just lost to Wakanda Forever and the Seven Cities Gaming team who were able to beat Raid Shadow Legends, the GameOn team. So the winner of Wakanda Forever and the Seven Cities Gaming team will have a rematch with the BuckoBois in the grand final. And that'll be it for this round.
second. Alrighty. So for all of you guys who or do not have access to the bracket or currently not looking at the bracket, there was while the stream match was happening, there was the Seven Cities Gaming team versus the Raid Shadow Legends team. Seven Cities Gaming took that one. It was when I last checked the amount of kills. It was unfortunately it was like 41-10. So that did not go well for Raid Shadow Legends. But they will be back. They will be stronger. Seven Cities Gaming will now be facing Wakanda Forever on stream for losers finals, and the winner of that would go on to face again BuckoBois for grands.